Hi, Professor. My name is Amanda, and I'm in your Journalism 215 class. And this is the video evaluation for Project 1. I had a really interesting time doing this because I've never really worked with a camera before, especially in relation to journalistic purposes. So it's been a really interesting way to kind of look at that process and figure things out on the camera and things like that. The telephoto wide shot, the one that I chose was of the bell tower, and I originally wanted to do that for the time of day shot, but in my journey figuring out the camera functions, I realized that there was not enough light to get that at night, so I ended up choosing it for the telephoto slash wide shot because it definitely demonstrated when I got different zooms and stuff like that, the qualities that you wanted for that. I considered doing my roommate, but I just didn't like the way that it came out. It just looked kind of, I don't want to say unprofessional, but it didn't look the way that I would have wanted it to for an assignment. Then the next one was for the action. I did like a plastic bag that I kind of let go in the wind for the still shot, the stop action, which I thought was pretty effective just because you can clearly see like the outlines of the bag. Whereas for the blurred one, I chose doing a ball bouncing. Again, it's simple but effective. I could have chosen a more complex subject, but I think that the things that you wanted us to notice with these different types of shots were better captured with a simple subject. For the color ones, I struggled with this because it's very dreary outside in February, you know, everything is very gray, and so I struggled finding something colorful. And then I had a neat idea because we had been saving our wristbands, the apartment has been, so we just decided to kind of do like a rainbow of that, and like I thought it was really cool the way that came out. But then the monochromatic one I also really struggled with because I find it difficult to think about things like, oh, there's no color in this. But I really liked how it has dimension to it, even though there's no color in it, just because of the texture. Because I did like a gray silver wreath that we had on our door for Christmas, and it looked really cool. Even though it was like the same color palette throughout, you can definitely tell that there's still like levels within the photo itself. So I thought that was pretty cool. Then the angle ones, I'm not happy with my high angle picture just because the subject matter, again, is just so dreary because of outside, and also even without the weather, it's kind of an ugly shot. But I was kind of stumped on what to do, so I chose that one. I probably could have found something better if I really looked for something, but I did really like my low angle one that I did of Here Apartments looking up. That was pretty cool again. So that was that, and then the shadow one. The hard shadow I was originally going to use for time of day just because it was it was very clearly like noon. It was very bright. But I thought that it demonstrated the qualities that you wanted for hard shadows really well, so I wanted to use that. And then the soft shadow, I zoomed in like a lot on that curtain. I think it looks pretty cool just because the difference is still very, you can definitely still see it. Which I thought was cool that even though it was so zoomed in like that, you could still tell the light differences, and like you could probably even tell like what time of day it was even, so I thought that was neat. The close-up, so you'll see in my gallery, I was trying to take pictures of someone's finger, which is very hard. The camera did not want to zoom in that close on a fingerprint, because I thought that would be really cool to like imprint that kind of identity. Like it's just a cool subject matter to me to think about different people and different identities within a shot, but I couldn't get the fingerprint zoom, like they couldn't get that zoom to work the way that I really wanted it to, so it didn't come out quite right. But I chose a leaf instead, which, I mean, all leaves are different, they all have different veins and whatever, so I thought that worked out really well. It came out pretty cool again. The time of day shot, I struggle with that because I didn't want it to be super basic, like the quad or getting a shot of the Union from Follinger. I did take a couple of those in the gallery, you'll see, but I didn't use them because I thought that that's a shot that everyone does, and it's a very common thing to use. especially when representing the school. So I did a couple shots around Armory and like up through the quad on that bend there. And I wanted to do, because I'm a figure skater, I wanted to do, my original thought was to do one of the rink on Armory, because it faces an interesting direction, I thought. It faces south, so like different times of the day the sun would be in different places and it would look cool. But the rink itself is actually kind of an ugly building. And because you were giving us completely free reign with these photos, I wanted them to look pretty nice. So I ended up just doing the quad. I think that the angle that I chose, though, like the particular spot that I chose is pretty interesting, though, because of the dimension. Like, it's so deep because it's such a long, like, it's not a hallway, but it's a sidewalk. It has the same kind of effect as that. So I thought it ended up looking pretty cool in the end. And there's definitely a big difference in the different lightings of the daytime. And I think that's what you wanted us to get, like, a better idea of. So I think that really worked for that. The videos, again, kind of like the action shots, they're very simple but effective. You can definitely see I wasn't struggling to hold the camera while I threw the ball, but there was movement for sure. So I definitely recognize the difference and the different benefits that using a tripod instead could have, and even like different situations where I'd want to use handheld instead of a tripod just to get more authenticity within a shot. So that was interesting. And then the selfie, I played around with the different settings on my phone. I ended up just choosing dramatic because I liked the different contrast of the light and the shadow. So there's like it's very light and dark, which I thought was kind of cool again. So thank you for listening. I had some high points and low points within this project, but overall I think it was pretty successful, and I can't wait to see what we do next. So thanks.